Today we will look at a poem by Li Bai. We have learned several of his poems so far, such as 静夜思，床前明月光，黄鹤楼送孟浩然之广陵. I just quoted the first line. 故人西辞黄鹤楼，早发白帝城，朝辞白帝彩云间。and 望庐山瀑布，日照香炉生紫烟. We have seen that all these poems are rather simple in language, very spontaneous in nature, as if the poet casually talked about what he was seeing and thinking, without any clever structure or elaborate construction of ideas. Yet this plain style is so effective in conveying what Li Bai wanted to say, to the point that, in fact, the effect turns out to be much better than anything else one could try to come up with deliberately. These poems are very approachable, very easy to understand, yet very rich and meaningful, so reading them becomes very satisfying for the readers. That's the main reason why Li Bai's poems are so much loved, and those that we mentioned above remain on the list of must-read poems for people old and young. Today we will learn another such poem, extremely well known, and possibly anybody who has any reasonable knowledge of Chinese poetry should have heard of this one. The title is 赠汪伦. 赠 means to gift to someone, and Wang Lun is someone's name. We don't know for sure who he is, but can only deduce that he was a good friend of Li Bai. Li Bai was traveling around and somehow got invitation from Wang Lun, so stayed in his village for some days. And when he was about to leave, Li Bai wrote this poem. Technically, it's also a poem about farewell, except that usually such a poem would be written for someone who was leaving, while this poem was written by the person who was leaving. In a way, it showed how free and without restriction Li Bai was, totally romantic and expressive. Let's read the poem together. 赠汪伦，李白乘舟将欲行，忽闻岸上踏歌声。桃花潭水深千尺，不及汪伦送我情。We said before that Li Bai's style was free-flowing. Anything he wanted to say, no matter how sophisticated or simple it is, he would just find the easiest way to say it. And surprisingly, very well said. Here, it's almost extraordinary that he would use the names of both Wang Lun and himself in the poem. And here, Li Bai, and here, Wang Lun. Such a way that would normally not even be vaguely considered by poets. And the language is also simple enough. 乘 means to take, to ride. 舟 is boat. 将 and 欲 basically mean the same thing. They mean about to. 行 means travel, to get on with one's way. So Li Bai was on a boat, ready to sail away. He was about to go, then 忽闻岸上踏歌声. A very lively and joyful rhythm and feel. Who is suddenly. 闻 means to hear. An means the bank, the river bank or lake shore. 上 means on. And 踏 means to step on. And 歌声 is the sound of singing. So while Li Bai was about to set off, he suddenly heard someone singing while rushing to the waterside. This 踏 is fabulous. It means to step on. But here it literally describes that someone is stepping on the sound of singing or riding on the songs while coming to the lake shore. He must be walking or running very fast because he had to catch up with the songs which he himself was singing. Obviously, this someone is Wang Lun himself. We don't know why he didn't get to see off Li Bai in the first place, but he certainly was keen to do so. So he eventually put off whatever he was doing and rushing to see Li Bai. And he appeared very happy, singing and moving fast. This is totally different from typical farewell poem, where atmosphere is usually quite heavy and people would exchange some sophisticated bidding on the occasion, such as 天涯海内存知己，天涯若比邻 by Wang Bo, such as 劝君更尽一杯酒，西出阳关无故人 by Wang Wei. These lines are all very rich and full of mixed sentiments. Not here. Here there appears no hard feeling at all. Both Li Bai and Wang Lun were happy and pleased that they had such a good friend and that they had had such a good time. Li Bai tried to say their friendship was really strong and deep, and he wanted to express how strong and deep it is, so he used the lake or river as his reference point. 桃花 means peach flower, and Tan means lake or river. 桃花潭 is the name of the river where Li Bai was on his boat, and 水 is deep. 水 is water and 深 is deep. 千 is 1,000, an exaggeration. 尺 is a unit that is used in China, with a conversion rate of 1 meter equaling 3 尺. So Li Bai was saying the water of this Taohua Tan is really deep, but still 不及, no matching. Song is to see people off when parting. 我 is me, myself, and 情 is the feeling. The water is so deep, but it's still no match to the deep feeling that my friend Wang Lun has towards me when bidding farewell to me. We should really appreciate how spontaneous and natural Li Bai was. Throughout the poem, the 4 lines are like some chit-chat, one line after another, seamlessly connected. And when he was referring to 桃花潭, he probably didn't plan for it, but rather improvised, seeing the water around him, and instantly chose to use 桃花潭水 to show how strong a bond he had with Wang Lun. We know this kind of poems is most likely not formally written, but rather orally composed, and in this instance, an improvisation when unexpectedly seeing Wang Lun coming. This is a total genius. Now, there are many interesting stories around this poem, and in particular, how Li Bai came to this Taohua Tan. According to legend, Li Bai was traveling around, being his usual self, and many people would like to invite him to spend some time in their local places. Because Li Bai was such a big name, they would be honored having him in their village. But obviously Li Bai would be in hot demand. Everyone wanted to ask him what could make Wang Lun so special. He got an idea and wrote to Li Bai that he had got some 10 miles of peach flower in his village, knowing Li Bai would appreciate such a gorgeous sight, and that there were also tens of thousands of drinking bars or pubs, knowing Li Bai loved drinking good wine. The original language is 十里桃花万家酒店, 10 miles of peach flowers, and tens of thousands, what is tens of thousands of pubs, 酒店. Apparently this appealed to Li Bai, and he went there. But to his disappointment, there wasn't any peach flower, and there was only one pub. But Wang Lun explained that he was only playing on the words. Here, 桃花 doesn't mean the real peach flower, but the name of the local lake, 桃花潭, which is about 10 miles long, 十里. And what about 万家酒店? It turns out that the owner of the only pub in town had a surname of Wan. So it was a pub belonging to the Wan family. So indeed is 万家酒店. So in truth, Wang Lun wasn't telling a lie after all. And Li Bai being Li Bai, he did not get cross, but instead burst out laughing, appreciating and enjoying this little game Wang Lun played on him. He apparently stayed for some days, becoming a very good friend of Wang Lun. Now we think Taohua Tan is in the province of Anhui. The name is Tan is here. So this is Shanghai, this is Beijing as reference point. The name is Tan, which is really a river, more precisely, one part of a river, which is a branch of the Yangtze River. Here is a map of where it is and what it is like. So you see, this is really a river. Now it's a famous destination for tourism, and obviously this poem of Li Bai has added tremendous weight to its place. I have never been there myself, but there are a few photos I found on the web. That's all. Hope you enjoyed this poem. Thank you.